Hello, everyone. I have with me today Clark Valberg, who is the CEO of InVision, which is an amazing company. I've actually been using InVision as a product for a long, long time as a product leader. And Clark, welcome and thank you for the partnership that you've shown with yourself and Webex. And we're delighted to have you on the show.
You beat me to the thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And so, tell us a little bit about. Actually, why don't we start with you're based in Brooklyn, you told me. So there's
Yes.
some wonderful weather that you're facing right now. It's
Hey,
raining.
I'm inside. I'm inside for the rest of the night.
There you go. So we've got all the time in the
A
world.
mixture of cold, rainy, and windy, which is that trifecta of I'm not leaving the house.
There you go. But so tell us a little bit about all the success you've had with Envision. What does Envision do for the audience that doesn't know it, and what is your superpower?
So most people know InVision as a design collaboration product platform, right? So we started InVision with the idea that design is really, really, really important and really, really complex. The important part is essentially every digital experience in the entire world, you know, every digital experience that's really defining our consumption of every category of human consumption
Yeah.
comes down to just a very few number of pixels right in front of you. An entire business, maybe worth many billions of dollars, can be compressed down to just a few screens that are the
Yeah.
thing that you engage with. And getting those screens right is everything, right? The experience first economy has made design really a multidisciplinary, very integrated sport. So the collaboration around design is very, very complex. Not just about designers serving the organization, it's about design, development, engineering, or sorry, design, engineering, and product management being
Yeah.
really the voice of the business, right? Needing to connect with every business stakeholder that will ever have anything to say about what this product and ultimately what the business should be. So, in understanding that problem over many, many years, trying to understand that problem and building a product to solve those communication problems, we realized that those same dynamics of collaboration really exist throughout every other department in the organization.
Yeah.
Talk about hybrid work, and we talk about remote work. Obviously, these things magnify by many orders of magnitude. So we expanded our product offering to be a workspace for collaboration for every department. So we started with
I see.
design, expanded engineering, product, and design as that craft kind of became an integrated effort. And now we're providing collaboration for every department in the organization. 100% of
That
the 100, 8 million users globally. That's what we do today.
8 million users globally. That's fantastic. And so, one of the things that Clark, when the COVID crisis hit, that we were all really worried about was how does product innovation get impacted, right? Because are people going to be able to build products with the same level of fit and finish and quality and deep thinking when they're not all together? And what we found was, in fact, that our innovation accelerated
Mm.
during that time, but not everyone was as fortunate. And I think part of the reason that it accelerated was the tools that we all used and our engineers used. And as we were thinking through this stuff, the thing that became very obvious is what we spend 8-10 hours a day on, which is in our case is WebEx, and you're going back and forth in these meetings. Um, it's really important that the experience of that gets completely, kind of fused with the tools that we are using.
Mm.
So if Envision is a tool that our designers are using and our product team is using, having that be completely tied into the meeting is so important, which is why this partnership between the two of us started. So
Yeah,
talk a little bit
context
more.
switching kills. I mean, that's very true. And the quality of the integration of the communication patterns that exist in those product teams ultimately is probably the single most significant factor or driver to the quality of the product that gets created at the end.
That's
Right?
right.
Great conversations create great products.
Absolutely. And so how did you start thinking about what were the things that you said, hey, we need to make sure that we work with WebEx? Firstly, thank you for the partnership. The team's been fantastic. The engineering teams have worked really well together.
You feel
And the integration is truly seamless. And we're actually really excited about that. But how are you thinking about it from your point of view on what needed to happen? What were the measures of success that you wanted to keep in mind? And then what should you be telling your users and our joint users to expect that is different and 10x better than what they could have expected prior to the integration?
so what you need from any great partner, especially a platform integration partner,
Yeah.
is a fundamental desire to be open and connect with other platforms. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, There's a strategy of being a walled garden. I don't think anybody thinks that's a strategy in the future. There's a strategy of, hey, we have a half measure, we have an open API, feel free to use it. And then there's the, we have teams, we have an executive mandate. We are putting resources and time and energy and effort, and not just like some integration team that's off the side, right? I'm talking about real product leadership that cares about how the integration happens, how the integration is, the quality of that integration, and how the integration is marketed, how it's storied to the customer. So the commitment that we get from Cisco, ultimately from Webex, is probably the greatest determining factor of the success of the integration and ultimately of the customer experience that we create together.
Yeah, and we our mission has been that we should make sure that if we want to power an inclusive future for all, it's really hard to do that by assuming that you will consistently outpace the collective power of the entire ecosystem from an innovation perspective. That just doesn't happen. And so we have to make sure that we're utilizing the entire ecosystem, and that comes together so that the customer has chosen to go out and invest in InVision, and they've chosen to invest in WebEx. We owe it to them to make sure that our two technologies work really well together. And we've actually we've now started doing that. But what I was saying was, different integrations take on different paths, and there are some companies where those relationships really get to be solidified because the company's value system is very much the same, which is, hey, we want to have an open ecosystem designed for collaboration with immersive experiences that we want to build as a result of our products being able to come together. So thank you for that. What would you say is the vision of the future? Like, where would you see this going in the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, um, as um, um, as these collaborations are happening and products are getting built in the world?
I think every great business comes down to customer empathy, right?
Yeah.
With these little principle cards here in InVision, it's principle number 6, customer empathy, and everything you said basically is a proxy for that, right?
Yes.
Not just, hey, we want to do an integration. Hey, we know people are using part A and part B. Let's figure out a way to make those things work together. That's a certain level of empathy, but
Yeah.
deeply understanding the workflows that customers engage with every day, understanding their working environments, understanding what hybrid means and what it means to them, like on a very personal level, reducing task switching, context switching, right? Understanding where their work exists and how it flows throughout the day, and ultimately driving, I think you use the word inclusion, right? Driving the value of collaboration from a values-oriented perspective, right? We don't believe in collaboration because it's a software we sell. We believe in collaboration because we actually think it brings it is the greatest catalyst for human greatness. No thing, no product, no person is created alone in a silo. Right?
Indeed.
We're not born alone. We don't die alone. Right? We are part of a community, many communities, concentric circles of communities, and great platforms are designed to integrate those communities in meaningful ways and value-aligned ways. So that's what we.
There's definitely a shared set of values. Hey, look, I just want to let you know to pass along to your team. We're delighted to work with you. We're honored that you actually take the time to integrate into our products, and we think you built a fantastic experience, fantastic product, and the fact that that is now seamlessly integrated into WebEx. So when someone is in a meeting and they want to go ahead and start sharing an InVision design, that is just completely integrated in and can be done in a seamless manner, whether it be from our messaging side or whether it be from our meeting side.
I think that one of the difficult philosophical questions of our time is the difference between a meeting and working.
Yeah.
Right? When we were in person, all in the same room, usually we're working, and that's taking the form of a meeting. And we understand these two things are really happening at the same time. Right?
Yeah.
We can show things, we can work on things, we can iterate on things. You
Yeah.
can have an iterative cycle that exists in real time, where a presentation is also a moment of connection in
Yeah.
creativity, right? When you're not in the same location, I think those modalities end up getting separate. They drift apart. Where we get on a meeting and it's just a meeting. Someone's presenting, everyone is listening, we're on camera, we're off camera, we're ducking down to the corner to eat our sandwich.
Yeah.
We've done the duck and eat. I'm sure you've done the duck and eat.
The funny part on that one, the duck and eat, just to go a little bit on a tangent, is the cultural norm is to not eat on camera, but the cultural norm is to interact socially by going out to eat,
Bizarre,
which is so bizarre
paradox.
in my mind. I've never
Or
understood
not
that.
the
I
current
always eat with
experience.
my camera on, and people are like, "Hey, GP, you want to turn your camera off?" I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
not.
wait, can you go out to dinner later? Can we meet up later for dinner? Like, oh, hold
Exactly.
on. Am I allowed to talk when we go out to dinner, or is that just an eating meal?
Exactly. So
100%. So,
yeah,
I think that this where integration between our two platforms and just between WebEx and everything, I think really becomes very critical. Just kind of blurring the line between those two modalities in a hybrid world. How
yeah,
do we get people to go seamlessly from we're having a conversation to we're actually being presented something and giving feedback on that thing to hold
yeah.
on a second, we saw an opportunity to apply some creativity, to skirmish a little bit, to get deep on the work, right? How do we
Just should fuse
shape
together.
collaborative
Yeah,
experiences, right? Where we can go wide, we can also have the opportunity to go deep.
deep.
The affordance is in the technology, right? The affordance is in the experience of the technology that we use every day. It's either going to afford broadcast modalities, or it's going to afford collaborative modalities, or it's going to find a way to fuse the two. And that's really the problem that we're trying to solve, and I think that we're trying to solve together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's this is why we're so excited in working with you folks. And I think those experiences, the more they fuse, the better, the lower the friction for the user and lower the cognitive load for the user on anything other than the thing that they're working on,
So,
which is what you want to do. So
oh, I just want to get people in the office because great ideas happen through serendipity.
yeah,
Serendipity can be engineered through a careful calibration of the modalities of our work, right?
exactly.
When you're
Yeah,
T-shaped in the way that you work together, serendipity has a place to to spring
to
forth,
blossom.
right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Let's make sure that we have many more of these. Clark, come back anytime. And looking forward to making sure that our users are collectively using these integrations and giving us feedback so we can keep getting them better and better and better. So thanks again.